Okay, it's that time of the week. I missed last week's game and news video. Don't talk to me though. Act like y'all did get a game and news video. I was busy. So what we gonna do, we just gonna cover all the stuff that we missed last week and this week. We might go a little bit over our time limit, so let me try to get through these as quickly as possible, but I can't make no guarantees. Let's wait like 30 more seconds before I can tell y'all that y'all ugly. Now, shout out to my guy, No Limit Q. He DM'd me on Instagram and he told me that PlayStation was looking at no longer putting their exclusive games on PC. I said, ain't no way. And then the article started to come out. Now, none of this has been confirmed by a representative of Sony. So let me say that. There's a bunch of publications, the IGNs, GameSpots, all saying that they are pulling back from the PC platform in terms of the single player games, not the multiplayer games. So there's a lot that could be said about this. This could be a whole podcast episode. I may or may not go on a mini rant that y'all should be used to by now. So let's get into it. Here we go. Here's the official headline. Sony no longer releasing single player PlayStation games exclusives on PC. Look at his face. This is some of y'all right here. Who does this face of Wolverine represent? This is the person who saved up to finally come to PC, because all Xbox games is on PC day and date. So you don't need an Xbox if you got a PC. And these same people, some of them are patient enough to wait 1 or 2 years or however long it takes for PlayStation games to show up on PC. They were in no rush. So they finally felt like they had all the goddamn, the Thanos gloves with all the stones, because PC was fucking everybody bitch except Nintendo. We're gonna get to them later. Because that's what PC turned into. And it created an environment of additional arrogance. PC people are already arrogant. I got all the platforms, by the way. PC people tell you not shit. And then when they got the Soul Stones, they was really talking crazy. But what about the regular guy who finally saved up through all the tariffs and all that? You finally got your PC and you got rid of your Xbox and you got rid of your PlayStation. Maybe you sold both of them to get a PC and you was gonna play everybody's game. Now you're not, your face is bloody and you doing that with your teeth. I'm sorry, 5D. Let's read the quotes. In a monumental report from Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, the journalist has revealed that Sony Group Corp no longer plans to release its big PS5 games on PC. On the other hand, multiplayer titles will remain as third-party releases such as Marathon and Marvel Token. A PlayStation spokesperson has apparently refused to comment on this strategic shift. Schreier has postulated that PlayStation exclusive ports not selling well on PC could be to blame, whereas people allegedly connected to Sony think that releasing their games on PC risks damaging the console's brand and will hurt sales of PlayStation 5 and its successor. I don't want to spend 10 minutes on this topic, but I can spend 30. I'm not gonna. So there's going to be some things that I kind of save for a discussion later, maybe when we do the podcast or something like that. So I'm just going to give y'all, I'm going to try to summarize this quickly, but let's unpack this a little bit. First off, they're leaving the multiplayer games on PC. Now, why would they do that? Because you have to. Okay, multiplayer, I'm not talking finances at all. Get the finances out of the conversation, bitch. Sorry, I'm not saying you. I'm saying people. They are worried about corporations' finances like they get a piece. You don't get a dime off of that. Let's remove the finances out of it, because I don't want to talk about maximizing profits, because that's the only reason that you would even do something like that. I'm saying, from a practical standpoint, when you have a live service game, you have to have as many players as possible, and you have to have crossplay. The bigger the pool, the longer the game stays alive, the longer development, the longer developers keep their games, their jobs, and it's that simple. There's games before the crossplay and multiple platform era that maybe would have survived had they had crossplay and multiple platforms to keep the game, but the player base got so small that they closed. Everybody was kind of playing in their own corners. PlayStation people by themselves. And when you really think about it, now that we're in the space we're in, it sounds kind of crazy that we will all be playing Call of Duty and not playing together. But for smaller games, I'm really thinking about, let's look at a Black Ops 3. On Steam, after you buy Call of Duties from Black Ops 3 and back before the crossplay era, bro, 6 9 months into the game, there would be almost no players. All you'd be able to do is play team deathmatch because the other modes would not populate. You don't need that. It doesn't help anybody. And like I said, for those games to live, they have to have other players to play with. So you want to have, this is not 2003 or 4 or whatever year Halo had 40 million people just on Xbox that bought the game. You're never going to see that again. So when you are able to sustain yourself on your own platform with that many players, of course you would keep it exclusive. Because the game is that big. But the games aren't like that anymore. There's so many live service games: FIFA, NHL, MLB, 2K, Madden, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Arc Raiders, CS GO, all these games. People have so many games to play. We're not all playing Call of Duty anymore or all playing Halo anymore. People have ventured off, which means that there's less players on the games in totality, especially after the game launch. So I think it'd be wise to leave your game on multiple players because those games are more about having enough people to play the shit. So that's why they will leave it on it. Or the game could die because there's not enough players. You might have just enough players to keep the game alive if it's on 3 platforms. Anyway, he said the PlayStation Sports not selling well could be the blame. No surprise there. Time exclusive hurt the game in the long run anyway. Every game that I ever bought that was a time exclusive on Xbox or PlayStation, by the time it comes out to all the other platforms, the hype is so gone. Nobody, I mean, 2 years from now, we're all going to be playing totally new games that have been announced. Most of us, we already do this game and shit, so by the time it's 2 years from now, I've already played these games, with the exception of some of the games in my backlog. So I remember getting Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Xbox exclusives at the time. By the time they got over to PlayStation, I mean, they don't really sell like that. But there's exceptions to every rule. So I'm sure somebody's gonna bring up some of the Xbox games that sell well on PlayStation years later. I get that. But I'm just making a general statement. I don't have time to unpack this, you know what I mean, in great detail. Now, the last sentence. Releasing their games on PC, damaging the console's brand will hurt sales of PlayStation 5 and its successors. I can see how they would arrive there because the narrative has turned into, why do I need a PlayStation? Why do I need an Xbox? You don't want people saying that about your hardware. You don't. But they do. For a good reason. PlayStation had everybody's shit except Nintendo. So the last thing I'm going to say is this. Whether or not you agree with exclusives is a conversation. But if you're acting like you don't know why exclusives exist, I can't have a conversation with you because you're not serious. You don't have to like it. I'm not saying I like it or don't like it. I'm not putting a judgment on it. But if you're saying that you don't know why they exist, this is a new conversation. From the PS3, Xbox 360 back, everybody understood exclusive. Things changed, and now people are like, I don't know why. Yes, you do. This conversation does not exist outside of video games. It does not exist in sneaker culture. It does not exist in streaming culture. You know, when you turn that goddamn Netflix on, if you try to see Stranger Things, you got to get that. You got to steal a password, borrow that shit, or get a subscription for a month. You know that. I think really, maybe none of this matter. It could really be the gold rush to the live service games may have been what fucked us. I don't know. But PlayStation, get y'all lives together. I'm not used to y'all putting out one game a year. I know Wolverine's coming, but PlayStation was not like this. You can't point another gen to me where PlayStation put out so few games and relied on third-party deals. You can't. You're gonna have a hard time doing that. I expect better, but when you try to do 13 live service games and all the bitches get canceled, this is where we go. But yeah, conversation where people saying they don't need PlayStation and Xboxes, you don't really want people saying that. Nobody will ever say that. Nobody complains. Nintendo, you know you're not playing Pokemon unless you get a Switch. You're not. You're not. Now, if you ask 100 people if they want to buy one box and play all the games, they're all going to say yes. Damn it. Spent 10 minutes. It's too goddamn. Let's move on. Nintendo is suing the US government for tariffs. We don't need to get into the politics of the shit, but you know the tariffs ran the price up of the Switch and other hardware, PC components, and all that. Well, the Supreme Court ruled that the tariffs were unlawful. That means illegal. That means all the companies were paying the tax that they shouldn't have had to pay. Nintendo took that personally. They're actually suing the White House, demanding a full refund because the tariffs are null and void, or supposed to be. And they want interest. They filed a lawsuit on March 6th. And it looks like the unlawful trade measures have resulted in collection of $200 billion in tariffs on imports from nearly all the countries. That is nasty. Look at Mario. He know they about to cut a check. Look at his face. Anyway, that's crazy. And we don't need to get into this, but you know you paid a tariff. You watching this video, I don't care what you heard on Twitter. You pay the shit. Companies raise the prices to compensate for what they pay. You pay it. You don't benefit from this shit. Moving on, goddammit. Xbox announced their new console, Xbox Helix. I don't want to spend too much time on this. There's a 7-second teaser. We don't need to look at it. But there's a couple very important things that I want y'all to realize. First of all, I do not want you to think this is going to be an affordable console. It's not. It's not going to be affordable. And this is why. It says very premium. Let me read the whole quote. Will lead a performance, which is consistent with Microsoft's earlier characterization of the next box as a very premium. When you see premium and price together, expensive. Very high end. That's an additional enhancer on the price. Device, as well as reports that it will outperform the next PlayStation, albeit at a higher price. I hope so. Just like PCs outperform the PlayStation now, except for the people that's playing on 720 and lying on Steam surveys. Anyway, let's moving on. That is tentatively scheduled for a 2027 release date. Next year. I'm not ready for a new console. PlayStation ain't coming out next year. I can't imagine a new console coming out next year. I feel like we're only 3 years into the gen. This gen is very underwhelming, not for the games, but for the next gen experience of what the consoles are capable of. That's what I'm saying. We get great games, bro, but I'm talking about like this does not feel like we're on PS5. It doesn't. There's only a couple games that made me feel that way. Anyway, this says too high a price point could prove fatal to Project Helix. You got down right. The Steam Machine. You see people were so excited about the Steam Machine. Then they seen that Steam Machine said it was not going to be like console price. Some people cried. They peed a little bit. All I'm gonna tell y'all is if Microsoft is charging $1,000 for an Xbox for a Rogue Ally handheld collab, and the current Xbox, due to tariffs and other factors, is $650, what makes you think that you're going to get a PC hybrid console Xbox for below? I'm lowballing. It's not gonna be this cheap. Maybe it is, but I'm lowballing. $800. You're not. And anybody believes that or is saying that are the same people that told y'all that when you got an Xbox One and an Xbox Series X, that you're gonna be gaming at 8K 120 frames native, bro. They told people you're gonna be gaming 8K for $400, man. This console is going to be niche. It's going to be as niche as the Xbox One X, as niche as a Steam Deck, as a Rogue Ally, as a PS5 Pro. It's not going to be this big console that everybody gets. It's not going to do as well as the Xbox 360. And I'd be a little careful with Xbox right now. They seem to be at a fork in the road, and they're in a rebuilding phase. You don't know what's going on. They just lost their quarterback and head coach. You don't know what's going on over there. You don't know what's going on with Game Pass. You don't know what's going on with the way they're going, because the way they're operating doesn't seem like there's a lot of confidence in putting out a traditional console and just putting games on. The way they're operating seems like we're going to slowly move y'all to PC, and then we're going to stop making Xbox. But even though this is coming out, it's going to price a lot of people out of the ecosystem unless they're on PC. I don't know. And why am I saying this? I'm not making this up out of nowhere. I have an article here from 2023. This says that at the time of this article, right here, that 74% of people that bought the newest Xbox has the Series S at the time. 74% has this weak. The Series S is ass. Console's ass. Okay. Now, it was updated. And they're saying it's 50-50 split, but still, that's $300, a $300 console at the time. What part of people that are paying $300 for consoles tell you that they're going to buy a console for a premium price? I'm scared, bro, and you should be too. You should be too. Xbox, they gotta show us that they're committed, cause right now it look a little spooky, bro. Moving on. Ubisoft, they're a meme when we do the news, but good news. Rejoice. If you like Black Flag, the remake is confirmed. It's going to be called Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resync. All we know, that's all I can tell you. But I love Black Flag. The ship gameplay on there is what really did it for the game. Without that ship gameplay, I would not have been as high up on the game. But that shit, those legendary ship battles, oh my God. And the sea shanties. Ubisoft, you know what the fans want. Do what they want. Stop trying to maximize profits year over year. Put out good shit and let the money take care of itself, please. Moving on. BioShock. This game ain't never coming out. BioShock 4 was announced in 2019. It's been 7 years. But that's the state of gaming. Somebody's going to announce a game this year, and we're not going to see it until 2033. This game has been out longer than Kingdom Hearts 3. Between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, what was that? 14 years? 13 years? They're going to surpass that. All we know is that the game, this says that without question, this is the official quote, the CEO says, without question, the game is going to come out. There's been some development hell stuff going on. So I will read to you that the game failed an internal review with 2K game execs. And now it's in the process of having its narrative completely revamped. They're rewriting the story. Now, if they're rewriting the story, that tells me they still early in development. As far as progress, it really has settled on me. It's some sad shit, guys. Why do I have this? The last BioShock came out before GTA 5. It hurts. Hopefully we get this. All right. PlayStation. There is an update on why there was no Bloodborne remake, sequel, spinoff. 10 studios pitched that to From Software, and they said no. That's as simple as it is. I never played Bloodborne. Please don't fight me. I was like, oh, well, people kept saying there's a Bloodborne remake. I was like, shit, when the remake come out, I'll play the shit. But it's never coming. It's never coming. Brandon Sheffield chimed in on the report on Blue Sky. Post is gone. He claimed that not only Bluepoint Games, but several studios pitched ideas for a sequel, remake, or spin-off, only to be rejected. Moving on. Listen, I don't do this too often, but I'm doing it now. Slay Spire is one of the best games, but specifically card games that I ever had the pleasure of touching. That game will have you crack out. Listen to me when I tell you. Slay Spire 1 at that time was the best card game I'd ever played. No disrespect on the other games. I didn't get to play Yu-Gi or nothing. I don't know anything about that. Please don't whoop me. Slay Spire 2 though. Dude, you have no idea the hours I put on that game. I love the game so much. There's so much time. And then Balatro came out. Balatro and Slay Spire is like they right up here together for me. And now Slay Spire 2, I was so excited. I'm so happy to announce that they broke records. They had 400,000 concurrent players on Steam because the game is that good. I get so happy, not when big games do well, but when smaller studios games do well, because the indie games are what's keeping the industry afloat. Every time these big corporations and these big companies tell us stuff and they gaslight us, there's an indie game or there's 3 or 4 indie games that push back on those narratives. The narratives about games needing to be $80. The narratives about having to have microtransactions. The narratives that single player games don't make money. All these things. So Slade Spire 2 is in early access, but the game is only like $22 too. If you get some time, if you have a game or if you're looking for a game that you can just kind of play, if you have a handheld or whatever, this is your game. It's only on Steam right now, so if you have a Steam Deck, you got some time to play something. Plus, it's turn-based, so you don't have to be locked in the whole time. If you can kind of do it while you're watching the sports game, you can do it on the commercials. Anyway, the shit's amazing. Trust me. 400,000 current players is so impressive. On Steam is so competitive. All right, moving on. Let's laugh at Highguard. Not really, but Highguard is shutting down. Okay, they only lasted 45 days. That's tough, bro. They talking about playoffs, DLC. This service is shut down on March 12th. So if you want to play Highguard, you got 4 days, 3 days, really. Read a couple quotes from the developers. These were submitted anonymously. We were just hoping players would go on the journey with us as we continue to add the game post-launch. We of course recognize the risks. Another Highguard developer said the game struggled because it was too sweaty and wasn't appealing enough to casual players. Now, Highguard didn't have a fair chance. The Shadow dropped it with no promo. Jeff Keighley set such high bar of expectations for this that like any first time game is from a new studio is going to have. That's a tall order, bro. And I do know that a lot of people I know said that the game it had so much going on and it was trying to be too many things. With all that going on, it's not great. But this live service shit, you are a mere mortal. You're basically going into a gladiator ring with spiked lions, bears, all type of just prey or predators, all in that shit. And you gotta knock them all out, have a chance. That's what live service is. It's almost impossible to get in. You gotta fight big dogs the whole way up, and you undrafted. Live service, like you coming off the street clothes, and they want you to play with LeBron, Kobe, KD, Jordan, Curry, all type of just goats all over the place. That's hard to do, bro. Moving on. This hurt me. If you were with me when I did my state of play reveal or reaction, it had a game that looked like Yakuza. Come to find out, this is one of the original people involved with Yakuza, or founders or something like that. He was working on his own game called Gang of Dragon. It looked incredible. It graphically looked better than Yakuza. Anyway, the game may never come out. He needs $44 million in funding. NetEase is not cutting the check because they wasn't expecting that he was going to need more. But now he's looking for people to finance the game. And right now, there is nobody. Somebody, anybody, come and save these people. I want this game, but we're probably not going to get it if nobody steps up. It's a goddamn shame. If you go and look at Gang of Dragon reveal, you'll see how good and how cool the game looks. If you're a Yakuza fan especially, you had to at least have your eyes on this. Moving on, NBA 2K26. Y'all motherfuckers is some cheaters. 2K26 is the most lawless product you could play in online video games. For a game of that stature, of that prestige, with that player base, with that revenue, the way this game people have been cheating on here is outrageous. The lag switching, the Zens, it got, bro, do y'all know they had scripts to play defense for you? It would automatically jump and contest the shots for you on defense, as well as help you green your shots. It's ridiculous, bro. So anyway, 2K finally did something about it, at least for now. And it's the same. They ruined this game. 2K26 was ruined. Moving on. This is hilarious. Shout out to my dog Rambo. He sent this to me on Discord. This is a website. It's hilarious. It almost seems like an article from The Onion. this website will pay you to go into people's games, rank games, and throw. This website will pay you to throw rank matches in Overwatch, League of Legends, Marvel Rivals, and whatever else they decided to do. I don't even like the concept of this is crazy. The online gaming is over. Any pre-COVID, that era of gaming is over with. Gaming is now cheating, trolling, stream sniping, pay to win, or people playing like their mom won't make it through the day if they lose a match. They got websites where people are joining people and throwing their games, bro. Read this. Get paid to throw. Post a bounty on a griefer. Players queue into the games, throw, submit proof, and collect the cash. Streamers are about to get their head busted or white meat dealing with this shit. Anyway, I thought that was like the funniest thing of the day. All right, lastly, what games are coming out next week? What games came out this past week? Marathon. Pokemon Pocket P, I hear great things. Cited Spire 2. It is early access. Don't say I didn't warn you, but the game is phenomenal. And then the big boy coming up here is Crimson Desert. I think I'm gonna live stream this one. I'm not gonna do a whole walkthrough on this because from what I told, shout out to the TBH. It's one of the only people I trust as far as giving real impressions. He had a lot of good things to say. He has a really good Twitter thread on it. Really long post if you want to read about the game. I played it for a couple hours. He said though the game is massive. That it may make The Witcher 3 look like child's play. My Witcher 3 was like 50 parts long. I cannot come in here and do a 30-part, hour and a half, 2 hour per episode series. I'm gonna enjoy this game, but I'm gonna enjoy this on my time, but I'm gonna do a couple live streams playing it so y'all can see it. Anyway, I love you guys. My voice is low. My throat hurts, bro. I need to get some water, and I'm gonna do a reaction to the Lego Batman shit. So I hope to see y'all there. Let me know what y'all think. By the way, if you talk crazy in the chat, I got voice message responses now. YouTube, they didn't let the wrong people get voice messages. I can reply to y'all comments with a voice memo. If you say some wild, ignorant shit, we will situate you. We will get you out of here. Bye.
What's the goddamn button?
Where's it going?